here with the details. Hi, Brooke.
Hi, good morning, guys. Yeah, former President Donald Trump continuing his election push today. He's making huge gains with traditionally Democrat voting blocs. So the former president is now leading the VP by 11 points with Latino voters, according to a new USA Today and Suffolk University poll. That same poll is showing Harris's support among black voters is reaching historic lows for a Democratic presidential nominee, with just 72% of likely black voters supporting the vice president. Meanwhile, 57% of voters do not believe Harris has done enough to explain her specific policies as she tries to distance herself from President Biden. Listen.
First of all, I will say that it is a metaphor that is meant to also describe my intention to embark on a new generation of leadership. And needless to say, mine will not be a continuation of the Biden administration. I bring to it my own ideas, my own experiences.
VP Harris will be in Washington, D.C. today and does not have any campaign events on her schedule. Meanwhile, Trump will be holding a roundtable with Latino leaders in Miami, Florida, before traveling to Greensboro, North Carolina for a rally. Trump spent yesterday in North Carolina as well, touring the devastation from Hurricane Helene before speaking to faith leaders.
We have to stop it once and for all. We want a landslide that is too big to rig. Too big to rig. Early voting is underway, so you know what you have to do. So Christians, get everyone you know and vote. You have to vote, or we're not going to have the life that we should have, a life of prosperity and hope, a life of beauty. We're not going to have it. We're going to be fighting for our lives.
Trump's rally in North Carolina today will be his fourth campaign event in the state in 48 hours. And guys, for people saying he's exhausted, it really does not seem like that. He's go, go, go until Election Day.
That is an all-timer, Jerry. Jerry! That's a good one, Jerry. I love that. Pirate Week here at the Benny Show. Avast ye mateys, join me hearties. We are sailing on to plunder and pillage the campaign of Kamala Harris. Don't think too hard about it, okay? I think Kamala has been pillaged plenty in her career. Here we go. Today is Tuesday, October 22nd, 2024. The dark little secret about Kamala Harris's campaign is coming roaring forward for everyone to see. And this is something that people on the Trump campaign have been telling us about for a long time. We have many little birdies in Washington, D.C. We've lived there for 15 years. I've worked inside of the White House and in Congress. We have a lot of smart people that tell us a lot of very interesting things, and I have a bombshell for you on this show. I have a bombshell for you on this show from one of the smartest people that exists in the political sphere, who called me last night and explained something nightmarish about what's happening with Kamala Harris. And the collapse not only is here, but the destruction of the entire Democratic Party may well be at hand. We're going to talk about it today. I'm going to reveal for you everything that I've learned from a source deep inside of the political machine, the dark truth about Kamala Harris. Democrat election forecasters flip all their models to Donald Trump, including the far left ones. We are 14 days away from the general election. So Rasmussen head pollster Mark Mitchell joins the show live to talk to us about Trump-mentum and Kamala collapse. My name is Benny Johnson, and this is The Benny Show. Ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate so very much you watching the program. We love you, okay? We love you. We go like this. Probably once a show. We go like this, go like that, all right? If I could, I would send every one of you a MAGA hat. If I could. I will send you MAGA hats in the chat. Chat, can you drop, can members of the chat please drop the MAGA hat emoji? I know we got them. Sorry, I just lost my judge's gavel. We do have some Fannie Willis news, too. So I will need that back. I will need to get my judge's gavel back. Killer Klein is ready. At the ready. We just want to thank you. We'll be on the road tomorrow. We'll be speaking with President Trump. We'll be speaking with Tucker Carlson, RFK Jr., Jason Aldean. Who, baby? Tulsi Gabbard, Ben Carson. It's going to be awesome. We're going to be in Georgia tomorrow, so please check it out. I know we have the promo graphic. Boys, I know we got that promo graphic. We're going to be in Georgia, so please join us. If you are in the area, you can also join us live on the live feed. It's going to be a rowdy, exciting event. Okay, well, that was boys, we got to get the graphic up. Come on, where's the graphic? Where's the graphic? That's all right. It's a live show. In case you're wondering if it's a live show, this is the live part of the live show. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we got some very, very interesting news. Here we go. There you go. Pop it up. Go, Killer Klein. Go. It's a test. How fast can we get it up? We got it. There it is. Georgia for Trump. Turning Point Action hosting. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be in Duluth, Georgia tomorrow, October 23rd, 2024. Very, very excited to see everyone, and it's going to be a rockin' good time. Look at that freaking lineup. Look at that energy at the top. Look at that. Aldean, Kennedy, Trump, Tucker, Kirk, Tulsi. What an honor. Okay, so we thank you for the power and the energy to move forward, to get this show on the road, literally on the road. And we're appreciative of you. We are building a movement here. We'll be taking with us our Patriot Mobile phones. Patriot Mobile keeps our show powered on the road and make sure that we are using conservative Christian wireless providers, and that makes sure that we are locked in when we need to be. We're not just going to Georgia for that. There happens to be a Kamala Harris event the next day in Georgia, so we may just sneak on over there. Kamala Harris and Barry Obama will be speaking in Atlanta. So we have to do a little trolling. It's called We Do a Little Trolling. Ladies and gentlemen, we're doing it with our Patriot Mobile phones. Sign up for Patriot Mobile today. Go to patriotmobile.com/Benny, 972-PATRIOT. Call today and get a free month with the offer code Benny. That's patriotmobile.com/Benny. Call 972-PATRIOT. Christian conservative wireless providers, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to provide you some very interesting insights that we have learned today from people well within the political machine. I'm alerting you right now to something that is happening that isn't just about Kamala Harris. It's about the future of the Democrat Party and the future of the people who are truly in charge of the Democrat Party and running it. And a process that is going to change culture forever, in fact, if it plays out. Something horrifying is happening for the elites of the regime who decided that Joe Biden was going to lose. And there was a decision made. I'm telling you this from, I'm not going to give up my sources. I'm telling you this from the people who are the most responsible for the success of President Trump's first term. The people who have been inside of the guts of Washington, D.C. in the swamp, the very core of the swamp. I get a phone call last night saying Kamala Harris is going to stop campaigning. And I said, no way. I said, no way, bro. Right? I said, no way. I just put my kids down to sleep. I was downstairs. It was one of those nights. It was one of those nights. It's gotten kind of cool here in Tampa. If I was still in my drinking phase, I enjoy a drink here and there, but I just don't drink that much. One of those nights you'd sit back on a rocking chair, and I got a rocking chair, and you'd have a bourbon. I love bourbon. And it's one of those nights you'd sip your bourbon and you get a phone call, you pick it up, and you're sipping your bourbon on your rocking chair. I was on a rocking chair, though. I just wasn't drinking. And the individual on the other end of the line says, Kamala's going to stop campaigning. Kamala's going to quit the campaign trail and go and get boxed about the ears by her true masters. Get ready. Little did I know, ladies and gentlemen, lo and behold, from Richard Grinnell, who's not my source, but we love Rick Grinnell, from Richard Grinnell this morning, Kamala quits the campaign. Kamala has stopped. Klein, you're going to have to click through on that tweet, please. Kamala Harris has decided to cancel campaign stops and will be taking the day off. she's having Barack Obama step in for her and start taking over the campaign rallies. What does this tell you? Well, let me tell you what I heard last night. What I heard last night from my sources is that everything has failed. Here's the plan, and this is the goal of the machine. The goal of the machine is a replacement of the American electorate, a creation of a tapestry work of the dispossessed. Why was 5% of Haiti brought to America? Do you know that 5% of Haitians who exist in the world today have been brought into America, into the heartland of America? Haiti is a third world nation. They don't speak English. It is not a developed nation. Why would you do that? It's part of a plan. It's a plan that's been hatched, I believe, 20 years ago. George Soros is part of this plan. It's a plan to remake the American electorate into a disparate coalition of dispossessed groups that have been knit together via common cause. And that common cause is oppression. You see, if you can get enough people voting for goodies from the system, if you can get enough people suckling on the government teat together, angry that they haven't been given more handouts and more goodies, then you can actually get them all to vote as one. Benjamin Franklin says, the moment of America's collapse will be when the public realizes they can vote themselves treasure from the United States Treasury. Benjamin Franklin sort of calling out the glitch in democracy, the glitch in a nation like ours. And we've reached that moment. This was the plan. The plan was to get all of these groups together, Hispanics, immigrants, Black Americans, purple American, whatever. Okay, whatever. Cucks for Kamala. You know, those people are dispossessed in a very different way. Possessed people, right? Yeah, you not gonna name names, but you know who they are. Like the people who are literally possessed, demonically possessed. Put them all together in a big old melting pot. And churn that pot, and you create a brand new demographic. This is not the demographic that voted for Bill Clinton. The last Democrat that was elected by a normative American, Bill Clinton was not elected by a majority, not in 1992. But last Democrat that ran on a populist messaging was Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton won on populist messaging in 92 and 96. And then the Democrat Party changed forever. They realized they would lose that battle forever. And that Republicans had gained cultural ground on cowboys and NASCAR and country music and the NFL and man culture and family culture. Republicans had the upper hand. And so what you had to do was import a new demographic of voter bases, hand them goodies, make them subservient, total fiefdom, total fealty to the government state. Tell those people that they are oppressed, even though they didn't live here, their ancestors didn't live here, but somehow they're oppressed based on the amount of melanin in their skin or the way how many accents are in their name, whatever. Okay? Message those groups, get them all to vote Democrat. That's how you actually conquer America. Okay? That was the plan. And that plan was initiated with Barack Obama. Barack Obama is the first president that ran on this message of there's no white America or black America, there's only the United States of America. There's no red America or blue America, there's only the United States of America. We the people. Barack Obama run on that. He gives that oratory inside of the columns, the Grecian columns in Denver, Colorado. And he drips honey in all of our ears. And how does he govern? Barack Obama uses that messaging as a psyop to get into the chair. And once in the chair, he immediately says Trayvon Martin would be his boy if he had a son. He immediately churns the gears of racialized hatred, racialized animus. You can see it. Hey, Alex, can you grab me one of those charts of what it looks like when, like, the corporate media using the terms racist and all these woke terminologies, the shocking increase, the alarming increase of like the term white supremacy in the media. In concert with Barack Obama, I just want to show you how centrally planned this all is. In concert with Barack Obama's presidency, the corporate media flipped a switch and said, we are going to now start shredding the fabric of America that like knits us together as a country. We the people. All men are created equal. Black, white, doesn't matter. I want to be judged by the content of my character, not by the color of my skin. Just 3 decades removed from MLK's speech saying skin color doesn't matter, the American corporate ecosystem, in concert with the Democrat Party, decided to make the only thing that matters your skin color. The point of this is to create divisions, to divide groups, and to make sure that you can weaponize those groups by offering them free goodies. Barack Obama did this at the end of his presidency, in the middle and end of his presidency. You can see right here, it's perfect. Look at that. Right with Barack Obama's election. Right on cue. 1970 through 2010. You have Democrats elected, you have Republicans elected. Nobody really used the terms racist, racism, white supremacy. Then suddenly, right on cue, Barack Obama starts suffering in the polls. In his first term, Republicans win, and the term skyrockets. Skyrockets. It looks like NVIDIA stocks. It looks like Bitcoin right there. They're doing it as part of a plan. I'm telling you all of this because you need to understand the background, and I'm sure you already do, the background of this setup. Here's the problem. When you lose, they have Barack Obama hand off to Hillary Clinton. She was supposed to continue this process of building out this coalition. Open the borders, allow tens of millions of criminal aliens to come into this country, creating more dependency, Cloward Piven strategy, collapse the nation, okay? Create a permanent Democrat majority. Here's the problem. This isn't popular. Barack Obama himself lost over 2,700 elected Democrat positions or seats federally or locally during his tenure. This strategy is deeply unpopular. Like the theorists would say, okay, those who can't do, teach. Barack Obama didn't understand the reality that people don't want to hear the president talk like that. They don't want racialized division and hatred from the presidency. There's supposed to be some type of epoch that's like higher than that. The presidency is supposed to be above that. It was very unpopular. Donald Trump wins. The antithesis of actually what they were trying to do. Wins on a new coalition of populism, which is the cross to their vampire, which is the holy water to their demon. American populism that says America first. All of us together, we put this country first. Man, woman, black, white, there is only the United States of America. It's actually what Barack Obama ran on and then betrayed immediately to try and undermine this country. Donald Trump wins. Look at the ratcheting up. Look at the chart. Look at what they've done. Joe Biden, let's fast forward. Joe Biden is the resident of the White House. That's what we call him on this program. Joe Biden gets in to be the resident of the White House, wheeled around every day. They realize that this game doesn't really work well with a guy who who was against busing, who said you can't work at 7-Eleven unless you have a slight Indian accent. These are all quotes from Joe Biden. A guy that said that when he was a lifeguard, he wanted to beat up a young black boy because he had too much pomade in his hair named Corn Pop. And he got a rusty razor blade and a chain to go kill him. These are stories from Joe Biden. You can go look them up. I want to be fact checked on it. Hey, fact checkers, fact check this one. That's the story of Corn Pop. The playbook didn't work well with Joe Biden. In fact, you began to see historic erosions in the very people that you needed to vote for Democrats 100% of the time. Latinos, blacks, they were turning on Biden in historic numbers. That led to the hot swap. there was only one way out. The only way out was Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris, who is multiracial, who is relatively younger. She's 60, so she's relatively younger than Joe Biden by 2 decades. She could be the great savior by piecing the coalition back together. Because of her background, she would be able to bring home Black Americans, Latino Americans, because of her, because of her socialist messaging, she'd be able to pull it all back in. Because this is all they have going for them. The entire Democrat Party has bet the entire House on this strategy. There is no other strategy. And Kamala failed. And that's what we're seeing. Kamala has been incapable through her own atrocious campaigning, cringe, fake accents, inability to connect with Americans, inability to connect with the very people that she's supposed to harmonize with. She brings twerkers out on set. Megan Thee Stallion, her first campaign event, Megan Thee Stallion to go twerk the vote. And now the descent into desperation begins. Because it was Kamala's job not really to win, was it? Kamala's not going to win, ladies and gentlemen. It was Kamala's job to keep the coalition together so that the Democrat Party doesn't atomize into, splinter into a million fractions. But Kamala Harris is incapable of that. So Barack Obama, the architect of this, please put the tweet back up. Barack Obama, the architect of this, is taking her flipping place on the campaign trail. This is what I've been told. This is what I have on full background from one of the smartest human beings working in politics today. The full picture. This is why Kamala Harris has been yanked. Every day they have Kamala Harris out on the trail, more Black people vote Trump. More Latinos vote Trump. Show me those Latino numbers. Latinos are breaking for Trump now by 2 points. 3 points. Hey, Alexis, the Charlie Kirk tweet. Put it up. Latinos are now breaking for Trump in historic numbers. Every time Kamala goes on the trail, she damages, she destroys the very coalition that they're trying to build to carry forward the for the very survival of the Democrat Party. And so now the panic is here. The panic sets in. Click on Charlie Kirk's account. Click on his account. Scroll down his page. Scroll. Oh, look at that. There's our graphic. Scroll. There you go. There you go. Right there. Presidential election among Latino voters. 38% say they support Kamala Harris. Click on this image, please. 49% for Trump. This is a USA Today Suffolk University poll. This is a rigged poll in the sense that they over-index Democrats. So they're probably calling Latino Democrat party affiliates by 10 points. And they're rigging it that hard against Trump, and Trump's winning by double digits. The Latino vote, the reason there are open borders is because Democrats know that when you are a newly naturalized citizen, those citizens historically vote 10-1 for Democrats. 10-1 for Democrats. That's why 30 million criminal aliens have been welcomed into the country by Kamala Harris. This plan is backfiring. They've pulled Kamala from the trail because every day she's out there, she creates horrors beyond comprehension. She actually begins to destroy the very future of the Democrat Party. Barack Obama is taking her place. Barack Obama, in an unconstitutional, the move to put Kamala Harris in charge instead of Joe Biden, that was alone unconstitutional. And the Democrats should never, ever be allowed to outlive that. That's how desperate they are. That's how many alarm bells are screaming right now. Kamala Harris quit the campaign trail today to be replaced by Barack Obama. How stressed is Kamala Harris? Check this video out of her last night. This is a video of, this is a real video. We have done, of course, no editing to this. We do memes on this show, and they're hilarious. So yes, we do play funny memes, but we would never edit a clip to make like Kamala look more bad than she actually does. I played this last night for my wife, who is a nurse. And my wife says she's on drugs. She's on some type of Xanax or some type of like deep psychological suppressant. You can see it in the way that she's moving. Kamala Harris is incapable of continuing campaigning. The pressure is too great. She's already so insecure. She's already someone who has like done so many dehumanizing and demoralizing, degrading things to get to where she is. She's a power gobbler by definition. And when the power begins to break, she begins to break. Watch a either drunk or drugged up Kamala Harris from last night try and answer a question. Listen to this.
And that we debate it out, have good, vigorous debates, have a good fight over policy. That's good for democracy.
Look at that expression. I've seen that look at the end of 2 a.m. at a bar. I've seen that look from across the bar. Not today, Cougar! Not today! Look at that. What's going on? Play that clip without audio. You can hear the slurring, but look at like the slowness and the inability to like control the arms and the facial expression. Like besides just the slurring and the nonsensicalness of it, Kamala Harris has collapsed. Doesn't this explain it all? The accents. New accent from Kamala Harris. Let's go. New accent just dropped. Here we go.
I know who our small businesses are. And they are business leaders, they are civic leaders, they are community leaders, they hire locally, they mentor, and they need more support. Small businesses are part of the backbone of America's economy. Part of my plan is for startup small businesses. The tax deduction right now is $5,000 to extend it to $50,000. Knowing what that will mean to tap into the ambition and the aspirations that people have, knowing that unlike my opponent who got handed $400 million on a silver tray.
Oh. Hey, boys, this isn't the accent. This is the lady behind her. Oh, our accent. Yeah, that's okay. Honest mistake. Look at this. I mean, it's worth noting. Look at the woman behind this lady in the white. Watch her. Watch this woman say exactly Kamala Harris's line.
And file for bankruptcy 6 times.
Isn't that something? Isn't that amazing? Is Kamala Harris's staff planting people in the audience that can give Kamala the lines? Look at this. Have you ever seen anything like it? Watch the woman, the braids behind the woman in the white.
Over tray and file for bankruptcy 6 times.
Yeah. Guys, this isn't the new accent supercut. Klein, did you play the wrong clip or was the wrong clip loaded?
I played the wrong one. Looks like you just sent another one now.
Okay. New accent supercut. Let's go.
Have you no empathy, man?
Yes.
You know, for the suffering of other people. Have you no sense of purpose? Well, first of all, thank you for the question, and I hope your family is okay and your home is okay. I love you back. Hello to all my divine 9 brothers and sisters, and my sorors. And to all my HBCU brothers and sisters. As my friend Quavo would say, he does not walk it like he talks it. Everywhere.
You've heard it all before. Why does Kamala have to do all the fake accents? This is something that was said to me last night on this phone call from my source. The fake accents, they're like, Benny, you do all these funny videos on the fake accents. The fake accents are because Kamala's job is to appeal to Latino voters and blacks. That's the coalition. That's the coalition that must stay together for the Democratic Party to have any future at all. That's the coalition that Kamala must appeal to, so she has this manic, psychotic break when she's talking with those voters, like just this woman who's trying too hard, and she like uses these fake, pedantic, humiliating, are you okay? Are you okay? I love you back. Union member. Union member. He doesn't walk it like a talking. Like, what is this? What is this? That's not how Kamala Harris talks during her Brett Baer interview. No. It's because she's been ordered by Obama that the entire reason to throw the diseased, dandruffy, crusty, old white racist from the top of the ticket is because you got to keep this coalition together. We're already losing. If we lose the coalition, and if Trump, with Joe Biden at the top of the ticket, Trump would be able to scoop black support and Latino support to historic numbers. With Trump at the top of the ticket, with Biden at the top of the ticket, black and Latino voters would say, I ain't voting for that guy. Okay? That guy's got, they did their internals and they realized that the coalition that they had built atomizes. Trump is doing it still with Kamala, and that's Kamala's failure. When you're playing an identity politics, man, you're playing a dangerous game because you have to assume that everyone's as racist as you. And what do I mean by that? You have to assume that voters are just going to vote based on melanin amount in your skin. I can tell you this, hand to God, I'm voting for President Trump because of his policies, damn it. That's it. I'm voting for Trump because of his policies. But Democrats, including Barack Obama, who was dragged out onto the trail, Democrats, you remember Barack Obama's first salvo onto the trail? Barking at black men who were like nearly falling asleep in his presence, like all these guys like, okay, all right, uncle, all right, like chill out. Slender man. Barack Obama barking at them that you have to support Kamala Harris because she came from the same places you come from. She went to the same schools you go to. You see how despicable this is? You see how desperate they are? Do we have that Obama clip? They say they came out and said it. Now they're finally letting it rip. Barack Obama built this coalition along with the help of George Soros. Just do it as a play-beside. Barack Obama builds this coalition. Look at how bored everyone is. Look how bored everyone is. Barack Obama. You have to support Kamala Harris because identity politics. Can't support a white guy. Right? Just say it. Barack. People aren't buying it. It's a regressive policy. It's a despicable policy. And it's collapsing. And the American people have seen through it. And now we're about to win. Now we're about to win. Kamala's drunk on stage or highly Xanaxed up. And now we're about to win. Ladies and gentlemen, I can show you how it doesn't work. I'm going to show you some polls here, and then we're going to talk to one of the best pollsters in America. But I can show you this from personal experience. There's a lot of people sit in their little studios all day and never venture outside and never go touch grass, as they say, talk to real people. We make it our goal in life to actually get out and talk to real people every single day. Every single Uber I'm in, you have a conversation. I've never been in an Uber that doesn't support Donald Trump. Try it. It's called the working class test. Go talk to people who are working class. Try it. Every Uber I get in, I say, what do you think? Trump or Biden? Trump or Kamala? And every single time, I have some of them on camera, every single time I hear Trump with like 4 O's in the middle of the word Trump. Trump. Every single Uber I'm in. We went to a gas station and said, we want to charge Trump gas prices. The owners of the gas station were like, we didn't know them, but they were like, yeah, totally. Let's do that. And what we ended up doing is we ended up just charging, the people of the neighborhood, $1.84. Technically, we just covered we just opened up the pumps. We just paid for everyone's tank of gas, right? Again, we thank this audience for the capacity to do this kind of service work. But what was remarkable is that when you're talking with the people of this neighborhood, which I think I can courteously justify and say these are people who are deeply working class. This is definitely the 99%, as they say, right? These are people who've had it hard. Probably Probably 90% of the people that showed up that day were black. In this neighborhood in Tampa Bay where we did a Trump gas station. And to a man, to a woman, every one of them wanted Trump back. They've destroyed themselves. The goal of Kamala Harris was to actually target these specific people and to trick them once again, they're doing it for years, to trick them once again into voting along the lines of identity politics. Say that because someone looks like you or because someone comes from the same place you come from. Barack Obama said it. Barack Obama let the cat out of the bag. And now Barack Obama's the one doing all the campaigning for Kamala Harris. Barack Obama said, because Kamala looks like you and comes from your same neighborhoods, you got to vote for her. People are over it. People are over it. And the reason I can say that is, one, obviously all the polls, but two, ladies and gentlemen, we go out and ask. Check it out.
Make gas cheap.
That's right.
Everything cheap again.
Yes, that's right.
Shoot, not just gas, everything.
What if Trump gets in and gets the presidency? What was your message to him?
Hey.
Make gas cheap again. Trump was the shit. He had this shit going on. They that might not like him because he got an attitude. We all got a attitude. Attitudes move things. You got to have a little attitude and a little charisma to know what the hell is going on with this world. Yes.
You voting Trump?
Yeah, I'm voting Trump.
Right.
Because, literally, he about our country,
That's right.
Make gas cheap again, and then on top of that, like he was saying, dig here instead of going, he a businessman.
Yes.
It's literally it.
Drill, baby, drill.
I work for myself, literally. I'm a mechanic. Yeah. Literally. And it's only because he gave me the opportunity to do it.
Are you a mother?
Yes.
Was it easier when groceries were cheap, gas was cheap for your mom?
Yes, we need a bet ASAP.
Trump. No Kamala. No Biden. I love you, Trump.
It was cheap. It was better. America was great. Not a lot of unemployment people. So before, when we have Trump, that was the best.
Every person in that video, by the way, a great honor. President Trump shared that video multiple times now. We want to say thank you. I don't know if can we pop it up? We put it up. President Trump has shared that video now multiple times, and we're deeply honored, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, President Trump. It's going viral. It's done almost 1 million views on YouTube, so please check it out. It's done tens of millions of views across social media, but we're thankful for the support of the president on that concept. Every single one of those people is the target demographic of the Kamala campaign. Every single one. And to a man and to a woman, they have all said, we want Trump back. Go. Show it. It's Trump this is President Trump on Instagram, on Facebook, and on Facebook and on Truth Social. President Trump sharing our Trump gas station video is a great honor. Look at how happy people were. There's this one woman. Look at how happy people were to do the Trump dance. There's one woman actually does the Trump dance with me. You're not gonna beat this. This is Kamala's only chance. This woman is Kamala's only chance. And she's out here doing a Trump dance. I've been working on it. It's amazing. Look at the final thing I'll tell you from my source. My source works in media very aggressively. My source says, look at the interviews that Kamala's doing. You'll see exactly how desperate they are to keep the coalition together. Kamala's not really about winning. It's just desperate attempts to keep the Democrat Party alive. Now, that's what's at stake. Joe Biden was going to lose. And then Joe Biden was going to lose their coalition. Kamala Harris was brought in as an emergency to keep the coalition alive. Look at this. Charlemagne the God. This is the biggest urban radio show in the country. Ratioed. Charlemagne dislikes, please. Look at that. 44,000 dislikes for Charlemagne the God. 15,000 likes on the Kamala Harris interview. Look at this. That's crazy. This is exactly why YouTube hid the dislikes. Charlemagne the God gets ratioed. This is Kamala Harris's attempt to reach out to this community. The incredible thing about social media is this is our feedback loop. This is our real-time feedback loop. I'm watching the chat. The entire show, I'm watching the chat. Shout out to the chat. The entire show, I'm watching the chat. Shout out to the chat. We love you. We're here for the chat. This is a feedback loop. Understand, like when you like or dislike, or when you leave a comment, like can we get some Trump fights in the chat? Just a shout out to our members. The only membership that allows you to have a Trump fight emoji. Please consider signing up to be a member today. Ladies and gentlemen, Danny has a cleaner version of this. Danny, you got that one? Ladies and gentlemen, this is incredible. Charlemagne, this is a mechanism. Social media has a mechanism of feedback. Okay? Sometimes I don't like the comments. So what? I read them anyway. Thank you for leaving them. We love you. We love the chat. We're here for you. And we love the feedback that we get from the chat. Charlemagne's feedback from his urban audience, the largest urban radio show in the country, is that 4-1, they say they hate Kamala Harris. How many views does this have? Charlemagne's channel has 5.5 million subs. 5.5 million subs, and you're getting 400,000 views with a presidential candidate. Let me tell you something. That's a failure. I don't think we have it all locked in right now. Oh yeah, maybe we do, compared with the Trump pods. When Donald Trump goes on a podcast, somebody like Theo Vaughn, who has 3 million subs, will get 12 million views. That's bringing people in. That's culture. When Kamala goes on your podcast, it actually depresses your audience. People leave your channel. This is a poll. This is a poll. Look at this ratio for call her daddy. This is the lowest possible hanging fruit. The miserable cat women of the internet. The lowest possible hanging fruit. Call her daddy gets ratioed 2-1. Look at the views. She's got 1 million subs. She can't even crack 1 million views. Look at the views. Klein, punch in. Kayla Klein. Look at that. 100,000. She can barely crack 100,000. My team was telling me, our production team was telling me that she couldn't crack 100,000 in the first 24 hours of the interview. Dude. Kamala goes on something called All the Smoke basketball podcast. Who is Kamala trying to appeal to? This was weeks before she did Brett Baer. The Brett Baer interview is proof positive that the panic is happening and the swap is happening. She goes on this, you've never heard of this, All the Smoke. She goes on this podcast. Click on that photo. It's so funny. You've never even heard of this podcast. Okay, whatever, right? Guys got cooked. These bros got cooked in the comment section. Swipe through. Just destroyed. You guys. You guys should be all the people she locked up in prison just to get a viral moment. No, man. Oh, man. The Trump pods are incredible. Every time Trump goes on a podcast, he brings millions of new viewers. Break 50, Theo Vaughn, Aiden Ross. Holy moly, look at the Aiden Ross numbers. 170,000 likes for Aiden Ross with Trump just being a homie. That's culture. Listen, we're going to talk polls. I want to talk polls. We're going to talk polls. But this is a poll. You are a poll. The way you respond is a poll. President Trump, moments ago, ladies and gentlemen, was roasting. Wow, look at that. This is the new one. Danny D'Urbina with a fresh one on Charlemagne's page. Check that. Is that the new one? Yeah. 50,000 dislikes on Charlemagne's page. Donald Trump is doing an event live right now. There's a big town hall. And so we've decided we're just going to like watch it and then clip it later, right? If there's something good happening. Lo and behold, here's President Trump confirming exactly what we've been talking about here. That Kamala Harris has decided to quit. So President Trump has destroyed, before the election, Joe Biden's political career and then Kamala Harris's. This is Trump's opening statement, ripping Kamala Harris for deciding to quit the campaign trail today. Watch.
Everything. And I was going to hit her really hard on the trail today, but now I don't have to because she's off. She's off. No, I can't get over it. Who the hell takes off? We have 14 days left. And she'll take a couple of more days off, too. You know why? She's lazy as hell, and she's got that reputation. She's a radical left lunatic. She's further left than Bernie Sanders or Pocahontas. Now, Pocahontas, because I think, is Pocahontas further left than Bernie? Just about, right? It's close. It's close. Who the hell cares, right? Rick says, I don't know. But they're out there. But she's furthest left. We can't have a person. She's a Marxist.
Trump just confirmed it. This is exactly what we talked about. This is what I got a phone call last night saying this is what's about to happen. Whoo, baby. If it wasn't so late, maybe I would have gone live with this information. But I'm glad we led with it in the show today. We led with it in the show, and then breaking live during the show, Kamala Harris quits the campaign. Stops campaigning today. How do you stop campaigning with 2 weeks left? Donald Trump now ripping Kamala Harris over this. And this is why, ladies and gentlemen, let's just roll through. This is why. Daily Mail, right now. Look at the Daily Mail. Trump takes biggest lead yet in Daily Mail election model, beating Harris by 30 points. National polls show Kamala Harris's popular vote shrinking or disappearing. Our model shows that Donald Trump's strength grip on the Electoral College, oh man, it's about to go down. Look at these probabilities. Probability of winning the Electoral College, Kamala Harris is at 34%. Donald Trump is at 65.9%, according to the Daily Mail. Elon Musk said this morning that it must reach 69% for the prophecy to be fulfilled. I could not agree more. That's right. Get it to 69%. The polls continue to show just comparative and total collapse. Look at the Trump schedule. Here we go. Here's Donald Trump's events. You know, there's this lie that Donald Trump is exhausted and is not doing any events. Are you kidding me? Look at this, man. We'll be at that one. There's that one. We'll be there. We'll be right there. Bing, 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 bing. Look at this. Kamala Harris is quitting. Rasmussen national poll. Look at these. Rasmussen, pop her up. General presidential election, Trump +3. From the most accurate pollster, quite frankly, in America, ladies and gentlemen. This is, okay, all right, got it. Who we will be speaking with actually in just a moment. Let's rock through the rest of these. Let's rock through the rest of these, and then one final point. I'm going to jump over to Mark Mitchell, who ran this poll and can talk to us all about it. Michigan breaking Trump. Let's just go quickly, Klein. Michigan breaking Trump. We do this because we know that they want to rig or steal or try and capture. We must show you the power of not only the scientific polls, but the non-scientific polls. Like when Kamala Harris goes on a YouTube channel. That's a poll. That's a poll. Wisconsin breaking Trump. Pennsylvania breaking Trump. Trump leads with Latinos according to the Suffolk poll. USA Today. There it was. It was hidden right there. Sorry about that, boys. Sort of did a little bit of a wild goose chase for that one. Atlanta Journal-Constitution final Georgia poll. Trump +3. Trump +3. Trump +4. My apologies. I misremembered, as George W. Bush would say. Atlas Intel poll. Let's have a look. Trump up nearly 3 in a two-way national race. Oh, man. Nate Silver flipping his model back Trump and hard. Got to show Nate Silver. Can't call out without showing it, boys. We'll wait, Klein. Killer Klein, let us pop her up there, buddy. There you go. Look at him go. We got a 5-point spread, nearly 6-point spread. Scroll down. Let's look at that country. Kamala Harris's campaign has reallocated resources and staffers to Virginia. They are now trying to hold on to Virginia. They're going to really need to hold on to Virginia when Elon Musk fires 80% of the federal workforce. That's the only thing keeping Virginia blue. They're going to really be in pain when Elon Musk comes in with the beat stick and takes out the number one economic driver of the cancerous blob that exists in Northern Virginia. Because these people, of course, would never live in D.C. It's too dirty. That's it. There's only one little pocket of grotesque leeches and parasites who keep Virginia blue. And that's in the Northern Virginia suburbs, where overly medicated wine and Chardonnay moms decide to vote for the destruction of their leafy suburbs via criminal. I've seen it. I know so many people that live there. And they have to move deeper and deeper out into Virginia because of all the crime that is now emanating from Washington, D.C. and criminal aliens that live there. Baby. Oh, man. Kamala Harris having to reposition staff. 538. This is the most broken model in all models. This is a model that has showed like Hillary Clinton winning by 20 points, Joe Biden winning by 50 points. 538 flips to Trump. 538 forecast now flipping Trump. Oh my gosh. Real clear politics map. Let's go. Yeah. This is with no swings. Where we at? You're at a 9 p.m. calling it for Trump. You're at 9 p.m. 9 p.m. You're just saying, no, Trump's the president. I'm telling you, Kamala wasn't really running to win. Kamala was running to keep the coalition together and make it super close. That ain't close. That's the destruction of the coalition. This is the panic. This is why Kamala has been pulled from the campaign trail. This is why she's drunk on stage. This is now the panic. It's now finally all here. Poly market 64 to 35. Boys, 64 to 35. Again, another historic day on poly market. Look at this. These are billions of dollars invested. Gamblers don't like losing their money. These are swinging not just because it's swinging so hard Trump, not just because of the polling. Trump's had decent polling. If you're talking Rasmussen, if you're actually tuning into the right polls, Trump's had good pollings for a long time. This is because the early voting is now all breaking historically for Trump. Early voting in Arizona, in Nevada, early voting across Florida, across Pennsylvania is breaking red beyond the capacity to rig, which is finite. There are now articles being written like, we must rethink what we did to Joe Biden. Check this out from the Hill. I can't believe it. What if Joe Biden is a better candidate all along? I'm like the meme. I'm like the meme of the guy looking beside the tree. We got that meme? Yeah. All right. I'm like that guy. Oh, baby. Give me this one to read. Here we go. With the November 5th election around the fortnight away, here's the intriguing thought experiment. By most accounts, the election is still a horse race. Too close to call it. Yeah, whatever. But although Vice President Kamala Harris quickly assumed the presidential mantle from Joe Biden and put it in place of an impressive startup, October has not been particularly kind to her. Donald Trump has closed the electoral gap. My apologies. I need to click out of a window that was playing on my browser here. Here we go. Donald Trump has closed the electoral gap, and some believe is actually leading. No matter who wins, we have to ask, would President Biden have been a better candidate choice despite suffering from the effects of his age and 81 years? Further, suppose the disastrous June 27th debate with Trump had not taken place, or if Biden had been firing on all cylinders that night, would Biden have been forced to withdraw? And whether Harris loses or wins, they'll be asked whether Biden might still have been a better candidate. Oh, man. Oh, it's so delicious. We don't have a salt that lib, but there's so much salt in this. I'm going to salt it anyway. Salt the article. Oh, the salt is delicious. It's delicious. I lost the top of my beautiful salt shaker. That was made for us by one of our members. So God bless you. Oh, but it gets better. It always gets better. Oh, it gets better. You can keep salting the chat. We'll put your salt up. Put your salt up. We'll salt them. Put your salt up. I lost the top of my... How much salt will come out now that I don't have the top? It's so much salt, but it gets better. It keeps getting better. The person who calls us has close personal connections to Tucker Carlson. Our source has close personal connections to Tucker Carlson. And one of the things that Tucker is very fond of saying is the Democrat Party works as a collectivist communist organ where commissars on the commission make decisions for the collective whole. There is no individuality in the Democrat Party. You are not allowed to think or act as an individual. You can't just decide, I'm going to go be Joe Manchin. Look what happened to Joe Manchin. Joe Manchin was hounded. They sent the army of orcs, eunuch orcs, after Joe Manchin. Joe Manchin couldn't leave his house without people harassing him and screaming. The left sent their mobs after him because he dared to think freely inside of that party. We have the clips. You can actually see the clips of Joe Manchin, senator from West Virginia. He's from West Virginia, one of the reddest states in the country. He was being attacked by liberal eunuch orcs, roving the streets of D.C. I have been subject to these attacks. I lived through the BLM and Antifa riots in Washington, D.C. I have been subject to these attacks. You're not allowed to think or act independently in the Democrat Party. Here we go. I got the final coup de grace for you. The final article that you're just going to love. Check this out. Senate Democrats are running away from Kamala Harris. Oh, yeah, baby. Not allowed to think independently. If you need final confirmation that Kamala Harris is going to lose this election and that the Democrat Party, that everything I've told you here, that the Democrat Party knew they were going to lose 7 months ago, that Kamala's only job was to not atomize forever the black and Latino vote and the coalition dispossessed vote. That's her only job. That's where the fake accents come from. That's where the cringe wine mom stunts come from. That's where Tim Walz loading tampons into his shotgun and then putting the shotgun into his crotch. Have you seen that video? Boys, don't load your shotguns like that. Don't. You'll wind up like Brian Stelter. That's where all this cringe comes from. The desperation attempts are to keep this fragile little coalition together, and it's now just being destroyed. The game was Kamala. Tim Walz was selected because he was supposed to appeal to, I don't know, balding, low T, estrogen-filled men who like to sleep on beds of glitter. I don't know who the hell Tim Walz is supposed to appeal to. Certainly not any man I've ever met. Here he is, loading tampons into his shotgun with the butt of the gun in his crotch. Boys, we got to repopulate the planet. Don't do this. You'll miss your shot. Do you know what I mean? You'll literally missed your shot. Look at this ass hat. Amazing. It's like I digress. I love this team. I love this team so much. I love this squad so much. Shout out to the production team. They're just incredible. We have so much fun on this show. We say we have illegal amounts of fun on this show. Senate Democrats running away from Harris in blue wall states. What does this say? Senate Democrats, and we have some screenshots actually. Bob Casey's one of them. Senate Democrats are running ads about how pro-Trump they are. Do you think they've been given permission to do this? Yes. They've been given permission to do this. They can't do this on their own. They're not allowed free thought. They've been told by the commissars of the Democrat Party, yes, you can run against Kamala Harris because she's losing. Because she's already lost. Democrats running for the Senate in the blue wall states that will be critical to determining the outcome of the 2024 election are running away from Kamala Harris, signaling that they are hoping to win over President Trump's voters, because President Trump is the one that's going to win. And this is their only hope. Democrat candidates in those states have been careful about criticizing Trump during these high stakes debates, and they have focused their policy on their own records without taking any shots at all at Donald Trump. Pennsylvania incumbent Bob Casey has even embraced Trump's tariff policies. He launched a campaign ad last week praising President Trump. Look, Mom, I'm a Democrat running for Senate. Look, Mom, I'm running for Senate in Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, and Ohio. Look, Mom, I did it. You'd be Joe Biden. I mean, Joe Biden put on the MAGA hat. The hat stays on. I don't wear hats that often. Still got hair, so I'm going to keep it and try. Look, Mom, I'm running for Senate. I'm wearing a MAGA hat. I'm a Democrat. Do you think they would be given permission to do this if Kamala wasn't already lost? I just want to do the show because I wanted to be able to say, I told you. I told you so. We have a show, ALX. This is the last thing I'll call for. ALX and I go into our cave every morning, right? And come up with what we're going to talk about during the show. Great ALX. And I called them one morning in the summer and I said, they're going to kick out Biden. And ALX said, nah. Or maybe, but what do you mean? And we talked through like the concepts. We did that show, ALX. Can you find me that link so we can just pop it up? So I just want to show you we were right. It says something very dark and crazy is about to happen to America. That was the show, and we did it a couple months ago. This was before the debate. This was before Trump's debate. This is before anything. This is before the debate. This is before Joe Biden dropped out, of course. And that was quite a series of events. And we told you what was about to happen. We did a whole show on it, saying they're about to kick out Joe Biden. Barack Obama is about to reassert control. They've lost their coalition. They're seeing their chances of remaining an actual party that can be elected nationally. They've seen that all erode, and now it's panic time. And they're gonna probably shove in an intersectional feminist diversity. There you go. There it is. There it is. And look at the thumbnail. Even Donald Trump smiling on the thumbnail. Oh, we're playing it here. Okay, all right. So there you go. There's the DNC swap. Indiana Jones cold. Anyway, you can pause the cold. I'm telling you, something insane is about to happen. Something insane is about to happen. We did the show, and it will change politics forever. Get ready. This is the thumbnail. So good. So we did it once. We're doing it again. I'm telling you, boys. I'm telling you, Kamala has been selected to lose, and now the order has gone out that she's lost. The sun is shining, as we have in our. This is the image. Joe Biden being sent into the volcano, as we often play out, and Donald Trump shining like the sun. Ooh, man. Oh, baby. And we were right. We were right. We called it before almost anyone else had the balls to call it, and we were right. So here we go, baby. Here we go. Teletubby Trump. Yeah. Okay. This is what it looks like when you go to your McDonald's in the morning for your McDonald's breakfast. And it's Trump in the window, waving by. Old Rockwell painting Trump. So there it is. There's the full theory. And that's, ladies and gentlemen, why Chuck Schumer was allowed to sit and smile with Trump at the Al Smith dinner. Little birdies of ours told us that at the Al Smith dinner, Kathy Hochul, who's the governor of New York, Chuck Schumer, of course, who's the Democrat senator that would have been totally fine if Trump spent the rest of his life in prison. They were yucking it up. You saw it on TV just like I did. Kathy Hochul was running over to kiss Trump's ring. Why would the governor of New York that wants to bankrupt Trump and put him in prison forever be kissing Trump's ass at this dinner? This wasn't on camera, by the way. We're hearing this from somebody who was sitting in the row right behind Donald Trump. Letitia James, we have this clip. Letitia James stood up for Trump and did a standing ovation for Donald Trump. Why is Letitia James standing up and applauding Trump after his speech? Bros, this is it. Chuck Schumer was ordered to go make peace with Trump. Kathy Hochul was ordered to go make peace with Trump. Letitia James was told, you will stand, you will applaud him. They want to see this man in jail. They want to see this man sent to Guantanamo Bay for the rest of his life, if they could. Instead, here they are applauding him. Here, Letitia James, of all people, the Attorney General of New York, is standing up and applauding Trump as Chuck Schumer stands beside him and claps him on the back. The entire room. The only person not standing is Bloomberg, right? Because he's rich enough. He can go buy Epstein Island and live there for the rest of his life. He's short enough. So there you go. That's your image. There's all your evidence laid out from inside of the campaign itself, from inside of the media ecosystem, from some very special phone calls that we got. Kamala Harris has not just lost the election. No, it's not about that. It's about losing power for Barack Obama and what brought the poison that Barack Obama injected into our political system, losing power forever. The destruction of the Democrat Party as we know it. And they'll most likely need to remake themselves under a populist guise. They'll have to do a full Bill Clinton reset to be a viable national party again. And that's why Letitia James is standing up and applauding for President Trump, the man she's trying to bankrupt and put in prison forever. Because they know they've lost. And they know that Trump can break them into 1,000 pieces when he gets back into power. And that's, ladies and gentlemen, what we are hoping for. There's the inside information. Sorry it took a second to break it all down, but it's happening and it all makes sense. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm checking in here with our producers, and I want to just apologize to Mark Mitchell, who is an incredible pollster who's been waiting and who has some brand new numbers to bring to us from Rasmussen. Mark Mitchell is just one of the best, a total G, a complete mensch, and one of these dudes who's just rocking with the data and spits fire, quite frankly, and been telling the truth. And so, ladies and gentlemen, the polar opposite of the morning consult poll, the great Mark Mitchell joins us live now. We're on a roll this morning. I just want to apologize, man. I'm sorry. I know that it took a second, but we got some very lively phone calls last night from some people in the know, talking about why they told me Kamala's going to stop campaigning tomorrow. They told me, so we wanted to be up with that news first, and live during the show, Kamala announces she's going to stop campaigning.
Wow. Good job. You got yourself a scalp. Excellent.
So, Mark, talk to me about Rasmussen, the most accurate pollster in America, what you guys showing, and we'll pop. I know you've sent our production team some information. We'll put it up.
Yeah, I mean, my latest race numbers are actually kind of boring compared to, I think you absolutely hit every single point about what's going on right now. And what I spent my time doing waiting to go on is reading a story from December 1st, 1980 in Time magazine, written by a man named John Stacks, thinking back about how nobody predicted the massive wave of crushing defeat that Ronald Reagan dealt out to Jimmy Carter, and all of this introspection about, well, was there a last minute gut check? Was there this big bang where everybody just changed their minds? Or were the pollsters lying the entire time? And quite frankly, I don't think they ever figured it out. But having lived through a cycle that looks exactly like Reagan Carter, I'm here to tell you the pollsters were lying, and we predicted this outcome, but we did not predict that it would happen this crazy and this far from Election Day. And so what we might see over the next 2 weeks is what people in the industry call a preference cascade, because the numbers you're showing the daily chart, and there we are. We hit a Trump +3 the other night. Now we're back to a Trump +2, but it's been Trump +2 national popular vote in our numbers, and only our numbers, for basically the last 2 months, while everybody else is screwing around with Harris +4s and Harris +5s. But I can't even keep up with how fast the industry is moving back to the right. And state by state, in every single one of these swing states, it looks like increasingly crushing defeats. The Real Clear Politics aggregate, again, including all the lefties, including the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, shows that Georgia is completely off the table for Kamala Harris. I mean, we have 2.5% average now, and we had Georgia at like +3. So everybody agrees with us. She's not winning Georgia. North Carolina is going to poll where Georgia does. And all of these other states, like Arizona, is now almost a Trump 2-point lead. again, including all the lefties. So it's like every second you see absolutely more crushing and horrible news that means this is unwinnable for her. And with 2 weeks from now to election day, what's the narrative going to be? It's exactly what you're talking about. It's Democrats throwing each other under the bus. It's retrospection about how the polls could be so bad, about how they thought that they could force her down everybody's throats, about how whether she's better or worse than Joe Biden. And none of it is anything that will help them win on the ballots. I just don't see. Now we're talking about how big the Senate's going to be at this point.
You brought up Real Clear Politics, so let's hop on over there. No swing, no toss-ups. So here's their map. Do you agree with this? Do you agree with this map? This is, I mean, I got to tell you, this is something that I can imagine every woman at The View is up late into the night, shaking a shaky hand, slowly reaching towards the wine fridge, right, and the bottle of Xanax. Looking at this map, do you agree?
Yeah, 100%.
Because your poll's in this map. Your poll blends into these numbers.
Yeah, absolutely. And some of our states were statistical ties, but what we're talking about here is this is the no toss-ups map, okay? And so we're not seeing the size of the margin. And every day, the margin in every single one of these states is getting bigger and bigger towards Trump. And if you look at the previous cycles in 2016 and 2020, there was always, in every single one of them, in almost every single state, the last week of election day surged towards Trump. I don't think we've even seen that yet. I think that's still coming, okay? So now, again, some of these are tighter than others. There's a little bit of a fog of war around Michigan and Nevada in terms of the polling. I'm going to poll those states again in the next week or two. I expect to see rightward movement. But in my opinion, what it comes down to is we've seen Trump on the ballot in presidential cycles. He always outperforms the polling. I think that's going to be the case again, which is why all of the election models and all of the betting markets show that it's a solid Trump win. And what you're seeing on Twitter is increasing levels of mental gymnastics to try and look at the early voting, the registration stuff, the fact that, well, maybe in 2022, the Republicans didn't outperform the poll. I mean, like, the level of mental gymnastics is getting bigger and bigger, and there's starting to be a lot of cognitive dissonance now on Twitter. And they wouldn't be mining early voting returns if they thought they were going to win. Let's just put it that way.
Kamala Harris, according to CNN, and according to people who are leaking on her campaign to CNN, have moved significant resources to Virginia. What does that tell you, Mark?
What we thought, right? I polled Virginia. I think it was in the middle of September. We got Harris +3. That's almost the statistical tie. That's at the margin of error. That was a week after the presidential debate. The states have all moved right. And that means, like, I'm going back into the field in a day or two in Virginia. I think I'm going to find a statistical tie. Again, in a situation where even our state polling is probably too left and where Donald Trump is going to outperform. I think Virginia's on the table. I think he might pick off some of these other states too.
So you're talking like what, a New Hampshire? I know he's doing an event there.
So
what are you looking at picking off on this map?
Yeah, I didn't pull New Hampshire, but I had Minnesota at Harris +3 as well. That one could be on the table. And all of these states, I mean, I looked at data from New York and New Jersey, and I'm not saying that Trump's going to win those, but the margin has gotten way, way, way tighter for sure. Donald Trump is now doing about twice as good as he did in New York in our data. So you have a massive rightward shift, and I'm talking about necessarily states I haven't polled. But when the national popular vote moves 6 points to the right, as it did in the last 4 years, those people live in states. Those states are all moving right. There are going to probably be some surprises. Absolutely 100%. And there may be other surprises between now and Election Day. Can't discount the fact that the regime is powerful. Its interests are threatened. They have a lot of levers. I think people are concerned. All of our polling shows that. A lot of bad stuff could happen, especially on Election Day. So again, I don't think we're out of the woods. I think political divisiveness is at a peak. I think people are concerned about cheating. I think there's threats of violence. I think more voters in this country than ever think that we're going to see a civil war or revolution in the next few years. And so a lot of stuff could happen. But from a polling perspective, It's a solid Trump win right now, as we've been saying for months and months and months.
I would love, I mean, you are a hard math guy, algorithmic guy, taking the crosstabs guy. Every time you release a poll, Mark, this is sort of what I see. This is you. So this is Mark like handing me new poll numbers. This is what I see. Put it up, Klein. No. Yeah, in the chat. There you go. This is Mark handing me a hot new poll every single day. Every time I get a new fresh, piping hot bit of polling from Mark, this is me, and I say, please, more salt, Mark. Okay, it's a joke. How much? What does this say to the disaffected American who wants a servant leader, who all worked fast food jobs like me, who've been waiters their entire life? The left has been demonically screaming over this for days. I come from a working class family. I'd assume you come from a working class family. Most Americans do, and we freaking love this. Yep. Has it had any effect on the polls? And what's your greater takeaway about like the Trump McDonald stop?
So I'm seeing my states break right. I think that may have been September post-debate response bias. I have not really seen my national numbers break right yet, and I expect to see more rightward movement in the states. So it's hard to say whether this has had an immediate impact yet. But I think it's the idea is that no matter what she does, day after day after day, she's racking up losses, and Donald Trump is racking up wins. So if we're going to Monday morning quarterback this thing, what, in my opinion, it says is that not only are all of the fundamentals against Kamala Harris winning, people's prices have shot up through the roof. They think they're worse off than they were 4 years ago. They don't think she's competent. Republicans have a lead on almost every single issue. There's this added thing that I haven't quite figured out in the polling to reflect that she's not an authentic human being. Donald Trump is. Donald Trump is appealing to all these people. I just put a tweet up I thought that really shows kind of some stunning context for this race. And keep in mind, these are Democrats that are tied in to Manhattan marketing firms. They're tied into the absolute best big data that money can buy. They have a massive funding gap over the Republicans. They have any Hollywood actor on literally the tips of their fingers whenever they snap their fingers. And yet that's not what people want anymore. They don't want it at all. I went to Google Trends and I just said, well, how can I try and capture this? And if you just look in Google Trends over the last 10 years, 20 years, and search the term movie trailer and search the term podcast, you see an absolute death cross where movie trailers are being searched 70% less than they were just 10 years ago, and podcasts are being searched 3 times more. People want human authenticity. They don't want to be lied to. They don't want regime gaslighting. They don't want literally monolithic marketing, and that's all she has. She hasn't addressed like the fact that she went on Fox News and she thought a good strategy, and not only her, she was prepped for that. She has a huge staff. They literally have any expert in the nation will come and tell them exactly how to handle that. And she went in and basically like kicked over shelves and broke glass and knocked pictures off the wall. How is that going to win voters? Like, what was the strategy there? And they don't even know that it was stupid. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen.
Okay, I'll raise you one, Mark. All right, I'll raise you one. You say that her going on Fox News and throwing a literal sorority girl's hissy fit with when Brett Baer just asked her to defend her own policies, which I find remarkable. Brett Baer follows us on X, so I DM'd him. I'm like, way to go, bro. You just like asked her questions to defend her own policy. That's it. That's all you have to do. There's not a gotcha in it, any of it. None of it was a gotcha. None of it was like we found something in your past from 30 years ago and your sister's best friend's lover said something about you. None of it. It was just like defend yourself. And she couldn't.
Yeah. Here's the top 5 questions you can expect to be asked. Like they didn't need to be given those questions. Any level of self-introspection. Any level.
Bro. So, you say that that's the dumbest thing you've ever seen. I'll raise you this. Kamala Harris just campaigned with Liz Cheney.
Well, she's trying to win out Dick Cheney's endorsement. Like
she's trying to win Arab voters. She's trying to win Arab voters in Michigan, and she wants to bring the Cheney name back to be Secretary of Defense. Ian Sams, the Kamala spokesperson, is out like trying to downplay the fact that Rick Grinnell figured out that they want to put Cheney as the Secretary of Defense. Okay? No Republican I know would be down with that. No Democrat I know would be down with that. And let me tell you a population that ain't down with that. The Arabs that live in Michigan. And I think that it's showing. So you say that Fox News was dumb. I say this is dumber.
It's pretty dumb. This is the party of Cindy Sheehan. This is the party of Cindy Sheehan. Just 20 years ago, that's who they were. And now look at where we're at.
Wow. Who exactly is this supposed to appeal to, Mark?
I mean, maybe the same people that switched registration to vote for Nikki Haley to keep Donald Trump out of the candidacy.
That's a great point.
Maybe that's it.
Yeah, that's a great point. Yeah, bringing back a Cheney as Secretary of Defense. I don't think it's gonna work. I just don't. This did work. This did work. Do you think that President Trump will actually remake this image at the White House when he's sworn in? Because he could very easily, Mark. He could. There's a lot of windows at the White House in the U.S. Capitol. Trump could just do a full, since it is the most famous, other than an assassination attempt, it is the most famous political image of this campaign. I think that's inarguable. I think Trump could recreate it, Mark.
Think about how basic this image is, though. Think about how much context is captured, how it hits exactly the right vibe, how all of social media is primed to spread it, how all of the things that it lays bare about Kamala Harris's campaign was immediately exposed. And it's just a picture of him smiling and waving at a McDonald's. That's what's crazy to me. This isn't like his ears bleeding all over his face in some assassination attempt that he somehow survived with the hand of God. He literally just went to a McDonald's, hung out with some people, smiled and nodded, was nice to folks. This is like any politician 20 years should have been able to do this. But it has to be a heavily scripted and edited affair. And they don't even know, they don't know what Americans want. They think that Americans liked Bidenomics still. How are you going to have an authentic campaign if that's your frame of reference?
I said hanging in the Louvre, right? When I first saw that image. And
yeah.
Our team was able
there
to
it is. Nice.
Yeah, our team was able to do
The
it.
French don't like that picture, though. Probably not.
I think, deep levels of trolling that they're called French fries, and that's what Donald Trump was making. So, okay.
Meta.
In just a final thing, because you are known and loved by our audience, Mark. And you were the first guy months ago. You came on this program, the first time you came on, and you said, when everyone was laughing at you, saying, you declared Trump could win the national vote. He could win the popular vote. And you said it, and that clip went viral, and there's like a troll army, right, underneath. No one's laughing now, homie.
No, now that Fox News, a left-wing pollster, is showing that Trump is also winning the national popular vote. The New York Times came out with a similar result. Atlas Intel and Trafalgar are right there with us, and everybody else is creeping back to the right. When NBC goes from Harris +5 to a tie in like a month, when now Tip, who's doing the only other people doing a daily tracker, goes from Harris +4 to Trump +2 in a week, I mean, my numbers haven't changed. I don't know. Everybody is coming to where I'm at, and we were right. Like, not a single time has Harris or Biden in the last year ever beaten Donald Trump. And I've been saying that, and everybody knows I've been saying that. And horrible Biden administration. Everybody's hurting. All the fundamentals, it's so obvious. And even now that every single other sign is validating exactly what they found, they still can't bring themselves to say it. They still can't. And it's like the absolute unified wall of Democrat media just trying to save a Senate seat or two, or doing whatever they can, or preventing that introspection, or trying to keep a hold of their highly gaslit viewers. I don't know what it is, but it's ugly, and it's going to get worse for them, because I think you're just going to see an absolute mental implosion.
Yes, because everything they've said about Donald Trump is a lie. I think that's the final takeaway here, and that's the final takeaway. And I'll give you the last thought on this, but that's why Trump waving through the window and handing out fries is so powerful, is because a dictator wouldn't do that. A threat to democracy wouldn't do that.
No,
There's this MSNBC clip, bro, that went viral of some woman having a meltdown of Donald Trump just serving people fries. and from McDonald's, saying he's a threat to democracy for doing it. The whole charade is collapsing down. And when President Trump is president again, and gas goes cheap, and the America you knew and loved under Trump returns, I think that they're facing an existential survival crisis, which is what the show's about. This is the phone calls I got last night. Is like Kamala Harris has put them in. Kamala Harris was the last ditch effort to survive and keep the coalition together of the brainwashed and the lepers and like the people who are totally smooth. Room temperature IQ, like those people, they have to be fed something. And when the propaganda fails, they're left with nothing. And you may destroy the Democrat Party for a generation.
Yeah, they probably need an internal civil war. And I will tell you, things are really ugly in this country. But Atlantic's Hitler, Mussolini, and Stalin rolled into one would not hand burgers to people outside of a window. But I just want to run through some quick numbers. Some of these are released and some aren't. Who is the biggest enemy America currently faces? For the first time, the Democratic Party nationally is the number one enemy, 30%.
Wow.
Followed by China at 20%. How likely is it that America will experience another civil war or revolution in the next few years? We're now up to 43%. That's a record. And now also we asked a new set of questions. How likely is it there will be a violent reaction after the election if Kamala Harris is elected president? Or if Donald Trump is elected president? 51%, a majority of voters say it's at least somewhat likely if Kamala Harris is elected, but also 47% if Trump is elected. This is 2 weeks away. Half the country basically thinks that there's going to be violence if either of them are elected. And it's literally like it's 64% of Democrats. And that's because they're watching MSNBC. Half of MSNBC watchers think the biggest issue facing our country is Trump's threat to democracy. So we're in a really scary time. Again, I would also put out, people are concerned about cheating. 66% of people think the outcome of this election is going to be stolen, basically. If you're an election official, if you're a secretary of state, if you're look at these polls. America is not in a healthy place right now. America needs to know as fast as possible, regardless of who wins, as fast as possible who wins this election, because it's not in a good place to have a repeat of 2000.
Yes. Yeah. I believe that, and here's some of the polling that you were talking about here. Make sure that everyone is following Rasmussen reports and also following Mark, who's just an absolute must follow pollster. I think that you're right. And maybe that I have a bad habit, Mark, of being on the silver linings, sunny side of things. But I think that there's a ruling class referred to as the blob, deep state, whatever, the parasitic class. You can't govern a country that has zero faith in its institutions. You can't govern a country that has zero faith in its monetary policy, its federal law enforcement, and its judicial system. And they've broken it to the point of, pardon me, inoperability. Its elections, you can't that country doesn't function. The whole system collapsed under the weight of its own corruption, which is what we saw in the Soviet Union, actually. Soviet Union was bound to fail. It's based on the endemic corruption systemically like a tapeworm that ran straight through the organs of the country. And America is reaching that point, and we need to pull back. You need to pull back from the brink. And I personally believe, this is my optimistic take, I personally believe that they've said, like, no funny business. Like, it's time to shore up our institutions, and it's time to like prove to people that we can actually run we can run a clean race here. And I think you've watched some wild moves, like Chuck Schumer clapping Trump on the back and like hamming it up with Trump at the Al Smith dinner. Multiple Trump enemies coming up to him and kissing his ass at the Al Smith dinner.
Yeah.
I think there's been a there's been a massive change, and the Senate Democrats running Trump ads. I mean, that's the one that pushes me over the edge. Senate Democrats running Trump ads.
I think, yeah, I agree with you. I have no idea how I would know that as a pollster, but what I'm telling you is the voters don't know or think that yet, and they need to find out if that's really the case. Yeah. Because what we're talking about here is, at a certain point, a parasitic entity determines whether its host survives or not. And I think that's where we're at. And like you say, they have power to do a lot of things. The toolbox is big. And at a certain point, there has to be a decision about whether to escalate or not. And unfortunately, from an American perspective, I think the voters think there is a lot of accelerationism going on here. And I don't know exactly how to poll on this, but we have examples. Americans overwhelmingly, 57%, think that some people are promoting mass immigration to the U.S. as part of a political agenda to replace the existing American population. That's just one example. And what are we? 51%, a majority, think the Great Replacement theory is not some grand right-wing conspiracy theory, but a basic statement of the Democrat Party platform. So that's just one example. And again, it's really hard to get at this in a way that voters can tell you what the signal is. But if that decision has been made and what you saw at the Al Smith dinner was correct, how cynical is that? That literally the future of democracy is being decided in a back room by DC power brokers.
Great point. It's such a great point. Mike Benz is on here talking about how the assassination attempts won't stop until certain metrics are met by President Trump. It's a very interesting long form interview, but it's not what we think. It's not the country we think it is, but we can fix it. There's still time. Yeah. I think that's the faith that we have. Everybody follow Mark. Here we go. This is the account. Mark is the best. He also has a beautiful Jersey Shore. Make Jersey look like that again. You should, put the hat on, Mark. You make it. I'll wear one, pal. Make Jersey look like this again. The great Mark Mitchell of Rasmussen. God bless you, man. Thank you.
Happy to be here.
All right. We're rocking. We're rolling. It's so funny. What a time. What a time to be alive. Now it's time to win. All gas, no brake. The train has no brakes. The train's wheels have melted off. The train is now riding on skis of iron across the tracks. The brakes are gone. They snapped. The lever, it's snapped. So now full throttle. We're going to be doing some really fun stuff in the next couple of days. We're going to bring you with it. We're going to bring you with us everywhere that we go. We're going to go to a couple different states. We're going to troll in Kamala up close and personal. We're going to be speaking at a Trump event. We're going to be maybe even doing a very quick international trip. We'll see. Got something we have some last minute investigating that we have to do about Kamala Harris's past, and we will bring all of that to you. Ooh, man, such a humiliating moment last night. So there's this Kamala Harris town hall hosted by Maria Shriver, in case you're wondering how terrified they are of the RFK endorsement. And Maria Shriver, the audience asked, "Hey, can we ask a question? I just want you to know the panic that they are under right now, the pure extreme panic. Can we ask questions of the Democrat candidate for president?" Here's the response.
You're not, unfortunately. We have some predetermined questions, and hopefully I'll be able to ask some of the questions that might be in your head. I hope so.
I'll be able to ask. We have predetermined questions. No, I'm sorry. You won't be able. The party you're looking for is the Elon Musk event down the street. Oh, you're looking for free speech? I'm sorry, you're at the wrong event here. You're looking for the Elon Musk event down the street. He's giving away $1 million. Go there. The entire room empties out. Man, we've been fighting hard. This has been a long slog. Speaking of a slog, imagine dating Fannie Willis. Imagine having your career ruined by one of the biggest fannies out there. What Fannie Willis's lover, Nathan Wade, stunningly admitted to Congress about the Trump prosecution. Here we go, baby. Oh, man. Oh, no. Boys, I got a fever, and the only cure is more Nathan Wade memes. Can we just grab one or two of our favorites? Nathan Wade on the dais. Nathan Wade on the getting questioned. Can we grab some of our favorite Nathan Wade memes? Call of Booty comes to mind. Nathan Wade has been hunted down by federal marshals. He was hiding from a congressional subpoena. And now Nathan Wade had to go sit for testimony, and we've learned some shocking things. The major takeaway here is we've learned that the Harris-Biden administration, that Kamala Harris and the communists that run this organ coordinated with the prosecution of Donald Trump, that they ran it themselves, that they met with the White House multiple times. Nathan Wade admitted to Congress that he was in a plot with his lover, Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis, to take down Trump. Republicans subpoenaed Wade to get to the bottom, the big bottom, of his involvement in a politicized prosecution of the ex-president led by Fani Willis. The pair had been engulfed in scandals since their romantic affair came to light after Willis appointed Wade special prosecutor of Georgia in 2020 election. According to the transcript of the closed-door deposition before the House Judiciary Committee last week, Wade said he was on her search committee to find prosecutors to go after Trump, and he sensationally admitted that it was set up well before Willis took the DA office, revealing that she had long planned to take down Trump, or, more importantly, her handlers had. The two used to speak daily, disclosed Wade, as he considered candidates for the top role, and she eventually gave it to him despite their ongoing affair. Wade, who was still married to his wife of 26 years, nobody ever talks about that black woman, but there we go. Their divorce was finalized in July. Wade then admitted that he had multiple meetings with the White House once he was tapped to be the prosecutor that goes after Donald Trump. Oh, man. He confirmed that the White House reached out to him, and that outreach occurred after the 2020 election. This is bombshell stuff. He did not elaborate on those meetings, skirting direct questions about the nature of the visits with the official White House staff, including individuals in the White House counsel's office. Wade also confirmed that he had meetings with the January 6th Congressional Committee, but he didn't provide details. The House Judicial Committee has called Willis's election interference case against Trump politicized after it was revealed that they were dating. Oh, man. Oh, boy. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be, and they're going to end up in prison. They're going to end up in jail. The hunter has become the hunted. Okay, all right. We're going to be going to Fulton County. We have a little project we're going to do with MAGA hats in Fulton County, starting tomorrow. It's going to be very, very exciting, ladies and gentlemen. After the show, of course, we'll be live for the show. Nathan Wade has a wonderful history of providing for us meme content. Here's one of our favorites here, more prescient than ever, Call of Booty. and also the skill that this show has to read Nathan Wade's thoughts.
Did you go to a cabin with Miss Willis ever?
Ever?
Ever.
All this time we've been together, thought a thing would last forever. Through thick and thin, good or bad, all I was happy, never sad. Now it's all gone sour, getting worse by the hour. Let's break up. No.
You've never gone to a cabin with this?
No.
We have a good time. We have a good time. No show on this big, great, wide internet will play that clip more. Oh, we had a great time. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been a wild and exciting run, a generational run, as they say. News breaking all throughout the show, everybody losing their minds that Kamala Harris has stopped campaigning. Meanwhile, Donald Trump has multiple events today. So prepare, tune into this space. Tune in, be prepared for historic levels of salt. Do you have one more Nathan Wade meme? I mean, is it a must play, Jerry? Jerry, if it's a must play, you can let us know. If it's a must play, Jerry's going nuts because he's like, Jerry's our full-time meme maker at the channel. Jerry's going crazy. He's like, I got it. You got to play this one meme. Okay. All right. That's fine. We're not going to rob the people. We're not going to rob the people of a Jerry meme. Here we go.
All this time we've been together, thought a thing would last forever. Through thick and thin, good or bad, all I was happy, never said. Now it's all gone sour.
All right, hold on, dude.
Worse by the hour.
Jerry saying you this
Break
one.
up the
All
makeup
right.
you say.
All right, there you go.
There you go. Thank you, sir. There you go. There you go. There you go.
You know what, Jerry? We need to do Jim Carrey week for our memes. We got to do Jim Carrey week for our memes. If you've been entertained by today's show, if you want to support our journalism, if you want to support what we're doing, please consider joining the Benny Brigade. Please consider becoming a member on this channel. We have the Trump fight emojis. We do Ask Benny Anything. And I assure you, we've made a couple of excellent hires in logistics and management. And we're going to be doing some really fun members-only events. We're very much looking forward to it. Starting a Discord and a chat where I'll be a part of it. And we'll be able to chat. We'll be able to talk through topics together. And as President Trump takes back the presidency, it's going to be a wild time. We're gonna have a lot of fun. It's gonna be great. Ladies and gentlemen, we keep our faith set upon the rock. There is only, not that rock, the actual rock. Donald Trump saying the rock actually called him after the assassination attempt to praise him. It's the guy who endorsed Joe Biden last time around. What timeline are we living in? No, ladies and gentlemen, the eternal rock, our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Hebrews 13:15. This is our verse of the day. Through Jesus, we should always bring God a sacrifice of praise. That is, words that acknowledge him. Just acknowledge Christ. I know why this verse was chosen, because Kamala Harris heard the name Jesus Christ at one of her rallies and said, "You're at the wrong rally, get out." She said it. We don't need to play the clips, but she said it. She did it. You've probably seen it. J.D. Vance heard the term, J.D. Vance heard this, a similar person yell, "Christ is king," and J.D. Vance goes, "Yeah, Christ is king." You have to be if you're a Christian and you think this offends people, you need to go read your gospel, okay? Be offended. It's probably going to be the marching orders of this show for the next foreseeable future. Be offended. Truth is truth. And we're going to speak it here. And in truth, there is power. And there is a desire to make this country better. And that desire, ladies and gentlemen, comes from our deep-seated, as deep as you can get, actually, family. I got 3 kids, and I got another one on the way. I have 4 little Americans. And I want to make this place I want to make this country better for them. That's it. That's the goal. And so if you're with me on that, if you have kids, grandkids, if you want kids one day, please subscribe to the channel, become a member, help us fight, and we promise you that we will fight right alongside you. It's your boy Benny. Can't defeat an army of happy warriors. Here's a pirate meme for you. See ya.
The biggest ships in the sea, all owned by the oldest kings, and their dying legacy, media deal weeds. Soon will the Benny Show come to mind, the salt from lives for fun. Leave the gold and bring the gun, we sail for #1. Show come to mind, the salt from lives for fun. Leave the gold and bring the gun, we sail for #1. The biggest ships in the sea, all owned by the oldest king.